Alrighty, next up is Bardin. Going through the talent tree for each one of Bardin's classes, give you some ideas for builds, and I will also post them in a pinned comment below. Again, my disclaimer is that these videos are not meant to establish some kind of talent meta. People disagree on these on pretty much every level of play. You'll see players in Cataclysm doing crazy builds. You'll see people in modded difficulty doing crazy quote-unquote off-meta builds. So the purpose of these guides are to give you a starting point, and you can adjust your talent builds according to your playstyle or what you find better results with. Alright, let's get into the video. Ranger Veteran. Let's start with Bardin. For Ranger Veteran, second wind is going to be better if you're running a shield weapon for some reason, or if you're running the one-handed hammer. And then Carve is going to be better for mostly everything else. And then for your level 10 talent, generally Master of Improvisation is going to give you the most value. I mean, you can't really go wrong with 5% attack speed, but this CDR is really important because your ult is on a long cooldown. And Last Resort is a weird talent. And then with the level 15 talent, your ranged class, you need enhanced power to help you hit breakpoints on killing specials. And for the level 20 talent, all three of these are actually pretty good. So Drunken Brawler is good if you have a melee heavy team, right? If you have like Grail Knight, Shade, and let's just say Unchained, then Drunken Brawler is going to be pretty good. But you can also never really go wrong with Scavenger because it gives specials a chance to drop a bomb and a potions, right? So, and especially if you're running Ranger's Parting Gifts, like having the chance for them to drop a bomb is really good. And you're gonna, and of course, you know, having potions is going to be immensely useful. So it kind of just depends on what I'm feeling for the game. I usually pick one of these two. Really, I would only take Grungy's Cunning if you have a very ammo heavy team, which doesn't happen very often these days. Now, I would generally run Firing Fury for the level 25 talent because it's just going to, it's going to make you shoot your crossbow faster, your handgun faster, etc. Exuberance is also good if you're sick of taking damage from behind, like your mom. I would generally run Firing Fury. Like, this movement speed, again, is not a good stat to have. So then for the level 30 talent, you have two different options, right? So like the meta option, if you wanted to just get stone cold value out of it, is Exhilarating Vapors. This is going to give your team a lot of temp HP, and as I've been saying, temp HP is less available now with the changes they made, so this is a good one to have. But the fun one is Ranger's Parting Gift, and bombs are immensely effective in this game. And one thing you need to know with this is that when you're running this talent, you use your ult at the very beginning of the game. The talent gives you a buff when you ult, and that buff stays forever until you use a bomb, right? So if I was to ult at the beginning of a game, I have the buff and I have a bomb, I could throw the bomb, consume the buff, ult again, and then throw another bomb, which would consume the buff, and then you could throw another one, and that would be actually, you know, the bomb would actually go away at that point. So you could do some shenanigans too, where you run Grenadier, and okay, so this is a pretty standard Ranger Veteran build. Again, Exhilarating Vapors is great. Ale is also pretty good, but this is kind of the fun build that I see most people going. All right, Ironbreaker. Now, for Ironbreaker, if you're not running a shield weapon, you're probably going to want to Carve. That's just going to give you the most consistent THP. And then Blood of Grimnir allows you to have a decent amount of damage as Ironbreaker. Where these other two don't really compete, right? Like Under Pressure, it's really niche. And then Runet's Shield is kind of meh. You don't want to be sitting there and blocking. So you're going to get a lot of value out of Blood of Grimnir. And then, as I've been saying, level 15 talent, you're a melee focused class, you have Smiter available, you take it. That's the rule. And then Gromero Curse is really good in that it can make bad situations a lot easier to deal with. It can instantly give your team a lot of space. If your Ironbreaker is taking damage, things are probably not going well, and you could use that space that Gromero's Curse is going to give you. Okay, and then so for the level 25 talent, I generally like to take the Rolling Mountain. Having more CDR on your ult is always going to be good. And Dawi Defense is really situational and can save you from a really bad situation. This can make you like basically unkillable. The other thing is like you're not really using push attacks for any of your weapons, except maybe the shield and hammer. And then Miner's Rhythm, again, like I was saying, that you're not really using push attacks for any of your weapons, so you're not going to get a ton of value out of the stamina, where with the Rolling Mountain, you're always going to be getting value out of cooldown reduction for your ult. Now, for the level 30 talent, I almost always go with Drang Barazi Oath. Giving everybody 20% power for 10 seconds is a pretty substantial buff. It's going to increase the DPS of your team by quite a bit. Whereas this allows you to take aggro of monsters, but the thing is, you can kind of do that already. You just shoot it with a Troll Hammer Torpedo and it's probably going to aggro onto you. And then Booming Taunt can actually help your team a lot if you're in a sticky situation, because it just makes it so the aggro from your ult is more sticky. It's kind of hard to compete with this 20% power, because like I was saying earlier, that keyword power is it's a really good stat. So power is one of the best stats you can have. Okay, Ironbreaker down. Outcast Engineer. Wait, I skipped Slayer. I can't skip Slayer. Are you kidding me? Okay, Slayer. Another one of my favorite classes. Now, Slayer, you are good at killing elites, right? So you're going to get a lot of value out of Execute, and I generally like to run Execute. Which level 10 talent you take is going to depend on what weapons you're using, and you kind of want to, and vice versa, like you want to take the right weapons. I think the build for 1,000 cuts is dual hammers and dual axes. For Skull Splitter, it's like Cog Hammer, Great Axe, and then Hack and Slash, it's the dual hammers and Cog Hammer. I think the dual hammers and Cog Hammer build is absolutely broken. I think this extra crit is really nice to have. And also, you just, man, you can just annihilate patrols with the Cog Hammer, and you have really good horde control with the dual hammers. Level 15, you are a melee class. You have a Smiter available, so you take Smiter. That is the rule. For level 20 talent, you pretty much always want to run Adrenaline Surge. It's going to give you a better uptime on your ult. You can never go wrong with that. You're just going to get more value from that than you are from an extra stack of Trophy Hunter. And also, as I've been saying, having extra movement speed really isn't that great of a stat to have. If you're using a weapon that you use heavy attacks with, like the Cog Hammer or the dual hammers, then you want Grimnir's Focus. If not, then you want Oblivious to Pain. And for the level 30 talent, you're pretty much always going to want Crunch. It's going to give you... It gives you the ability to make some space for yourself where you don't really have that before. If you want to meme around, Dowie Drop is a great one to play around with. Outcast Engineer. I know a lot of people like the Outcast Engineer, and I will vow to this day that people do not play this class right, okay? I made a video about it and everything, but what people want to do when they play Outcast Engineer is just sit behind their team and do this. Oh, yeah, I'm playing Vermintide. Oh, what? There's a Chaos Warrior? That's what people want to do when they play Outcast Engineer. But my whole thing is like, this talent, Superior Gaskets, gives you so much fucking power, it's ridiculous. So if you have 5 stacks like this, all of a sudden you one-shot every special in the game with the handgun. Like, you don't even care about breakpoints because you can just kill everything. And melee, you have a ton of melee power too, because of how much that 25% melee power is insane. Power also increases your damage with bombs. So I think Outcast Engineer is being played effectively when he's playing as kind of a hybrid, in that he's in melee fighting the horde, and then he's got his handgun for one-shotting specials, and then he's got his crank gun for killing berserkers and maulers. Okay, so with that being said, let's get to the talent build. And I will swear by this build. Okay? Carve is going to give you the most reliable temp HP with the dual hammers and most of the weapons. If you're running a shield weapon, then Second Wind. I feel like I've said this a million times. Now, they nerfed Ingenious Ordnance pretty heavily a few patches ago, so I would say generally Bombardier is the better one to have, because you start with 2 bombs and having the effect of both bombs is really nice. I think these Ingenious Ordnance bombs just aren't effective enough. You would have to run Explosive Ordnance with it to make it viable, and you're giving up a lot of value from Shrapnel from that, because you have Bombardier and Twin Leak Compression Chamber and you've got Superior Gaskets going. You annihilate bosses with the crank gun. You annihilate bosses by cranking it. Okay, so level 10 I generally go Bombardier. If you had Smiter, I would say go Smiter, but we don't have Smiter. We have Bulwark and Mainstay for some reason. So generally, both of these are really meh on the Outcast Engineer, so Enhanced Power is just the way to go. It'll also help you with damage on your crank gun. Superior Gaskets is one of the best talents in the game, and I will swear by this. 25% power is ridiculous. Or it's not 25%, it's 20% power. 20% power that you can just have is ridiculous. And this is what enables you to one-shot every special without even trying to hit a breakpoint. I usually take Ablative Armor because it just gives you some survivability where you don't really have any. You're a squishy class, I think you need this. And then finally, I think Link's Compression Chamber is just the best level 30 talent to have because it makes the crank gun less clunky. And also, if you're running Superior Gaskets, you need this because your stacks are going to be going down really fast. So you need to be firing at 100% right away to get value out of that 20% power. It's important to know that Trollhammer Torpedo is also really incredibly good on Outcast Engineer, which I know kind of goes against what I was saying with him being a really good special sniper. But yeah, that's something else you can do as well if you, in case you just want to kill bosses even faster. Okay, that finishes Bardin. Okay, and we will end there. I'm going to do all of the classes with all of the characters, so be on the lookout for that. But if you like the video, subscribe, like the video. I appreciate you spending your time watching, listening to me talk about Vermintide, and I will see you on the next one.